Good afternoon and welcome to today's Discover webinar, Easy Online Giving. I'm excited that you have joined us today, and I'm looking forward to showing you how you can utilize Engage Giving. My name is Julianne Manning, and I'm the product specialist here at Saran. Also with us today, we have Sherry Sneeden. She's our support manager. Jennifer Nelson, our support engineer. Chris Widener, our marketing specialist, and Alex Clay, our CEO, is with us here as well. As a special for being here today, if you are currently on the budget plan and don't have Engage Giving, you do have the opportunity to try the cloud plan and get up to 6 months for free. I highly encourage you to take advantage of this. Just simply send that promo code GIVING2024 to our sales team at sales@cdmplus.com and they will take care of you. But definitely take advantage of this opportunity if you don't currently use Engage. All right. So why Engage Giving? Why is this a great feature of CDM Plus? So a couple things that you can do with Engage Giving is you have the ability to create multiple custom giving sets. These are different links that you can create with different funds that are already within CDM Plus, and you can create as many different sets as you'd like. These different sets, they can be for one-time givers or they can be for reoccurring, so you can have both those options on a single link, or you can create a link just for one time if you'd like to. You have the ability to have a direct link that you can use behind text. If you're going to send out an email, you can hyperlink the link to text to encourage people to go directly there. There's also the ability to embed the link within your web page itself, which is a really great option as well. And then one of my favorite features is every giving set comes with a QR code that you can download and you can put in any print material that you have. So great resource to use. You can also accept both credit card and ACH transactions through our giving sets. You can also choose if you only want to accept credit cards or only want to accept ACH. So you have a couple different options there. And then one of the additional benefits is that donors can actually log into Engage, go to that giving menu, and then they can manage their giving right from Engage. So they can see any of their reoccurring donations, they can edit that if they need to, they can see their history, both their online transactions as well as their manual transactions. And then if they need to update an expiring credit card, they can do that as well. So all from the comfort and safety of Engage. And then on the flip side, as an administrator of CDM Plus, you can also access Engage to assist the donors with their account as well. So you have the ability to what we call impersonate their account, where you can either pull up their account, and if you're on the phone with them, you can kind of walk them through those steps. Or if they ask you to do something on their behalf, then you can make that change for them as well. So great options, both for the donors, both for you as an admin. But probably one of the best things is everything is fully integrated into CDM Plus. So once those transactions come in online, it's already associated to that giver's contribution record. And then you automatically have the ability to post that entry to your ledger. There's no manual entry. Everything's interwoven and connected together. So you do not have to worry about transposing numbers or typos or any of those pieces. Everything is fully integrated together. A couple things to consider when setting up Engage Giving. One is you do need to have a SaaS or a cloud plan. If you're not sure what plan you're on or if you would like to upgrade, you can always reach out to our sales team and they can help you. And you can reach out to them at sales@cdmplus.com. You would also need to fill out a merchant application. There is no additional cost involved to become a merchant. And also just a note that when you're filling out this application, you have the ability to choose if you want to receive ACH and or credit card transactions. I always encourage everyone to check all those boxes. We'll discuss a little bit later today how you can control what types of payments you can receive on different forms. But by checking all those boxes at like the forefront, you will have all of those choices available to you. And it's much easier to remove an option than to add an option in the future. So definitely go ahead, check all those boxes. It makes it really easy, and you can still manage that from the other side as well. If you need to fill out a merchant application, you can reach out to our customer service team and they will walk you through the process. Their email is customerservice@saran.com. Another thing to consider is if you want to use our fee assist feature. Although there is no additional cost to become a merchant, There is a transaction fee that is applied to every transaction. However, we have a fee assist option that gives givers an option to cover these fees as an additional donation. And when this happens, you will then receive 100% of the funds in your bank account. And we know that about 70% of givers do choose this option when provided that option to add that extra amount. So definitely a great thing to consider when you're setting up your Engage Giving. Turn that feature on to give your donors those options there. All right, so there's multiple ways that you can really use Engage. One way, as we kind of mentioned earlier, is for those reoccurring donors. This would be for your traditional giver who is supporting your organization. They can set their reoccurring donation for the amount and frequency of their choice, and then it's automatically deducted from their payment method at that frequency of their choice. And then, of course, they have that ability to manage their gift. They can edit and they can cancel their donation at any time. And it's a great option that makes giving to your organization very easy for your donors. You can also use it for specific fundraisers, whether it's a spaghetti dinner, a building campaign, a mission trip. You can set up a specific giving set to highlight and showcase that specific cause. So another great way to really utilize Engage Giving. And then of course, every set that you create is going to have that giving link that you can put on your website. You can either use the link itself or use that HTML script to embed it within your website. And one of my favorite ways, again, is that QR code. So QR codes, you can put them on pledge cards, you can put them on your bulletin or a laminated card that you put in the back pocket of your church's pews or chairs. Allows people to scan that QR code, they go directly to your giving link, and they can make their gift there. Another thing is you have the ability to group multiple funds on a single link. So if you want that one main giving link that's on your website, you can add those funds that are already in CDM Plus to that link, such as your tithes and offering, your children's department, your missions. Or if you want to, again, you can make that link for a single specific fund. So maybe you're raising money for emergency relief giving. You can create a fund and add a link for that specific cause and purpose. Again, as we talked about, different fundraisers you may have. Year end is right around the corner. I believe about 33% of a nonprofit's organization's income comes from those last 3 months of the year. So definitely a great time to utilize online giving for your year-end giving campaigns. It's another great way to use Engage. All right, so here are the examples. When we talk about embedding a link within your website, this is an example of what that might look like. So the benefits of an embedding a link is that it's going to keep all of the themes of your website, so you can see at the top, and it's just embedding the form within the website page itself. So all of your branding remains the same, but then people have the option to give right from the website, the form that's there. And they still can log in if they want to. They can go directly to the engaged link directly if they want to. They can change the language from English. If they want to change the form to a different language, they have that option. But then they would just fill in the information and click on continue and continue making their donation there. So this is what it means when we say embed the form within your web page itself. It's a great way. It really helps because this kind of continue your branding. And it also means that your donors are staying right there on your website page. They're not going to a different tab or not going to a different window. They're staying right within your website when they're making their gift. Another great way is to use that direct link. So maybe you're sending out that monthly or weekly newsletter. You might have a button in your newsletter, and then behind that button, you can hyperlink that giving link. And again, that will take all of your users directly to that link so they can make their gift there. And then that QR code, again, it's very popular within the past couple of years. But you used to have people kind of fill out that pledge card. Even a safer way for them to make that donation is for them to scan that QR code and then just fill out their information through that link there. But this works great for those like year-end giving campaigns, as I mentioned. If you have like a fundraiser dinner coming up and you're sending out save the date cards, go ahead and add that QR code so people can just go ahead and make their donation here. But great way to kind of advertise and make that giving link easily accessible on any print material you may have. All right, so now we're going to actually dive into the software itself. Okay, so we're going to go to Program up here at the top. We're going to go to CDM Plus Engage, and then we're going to go to Settings. And we're going to actually go directly to Giving Sets from this left-hand sidebar. So you can see a list of all the giving sets that I already have out there. And with each of these giving sets, they have their own unique link, QR code, embed script that you can use to put in different areas of your website or wherever you're kind of advertising and publishing your different links. But we're going to go ahead and create one for a year-end giving campaign we're doing. So I'm going to click on New Giving Set here. And I'm going to give this name Giving Tree. Now, one thing when you're naming your different sets, do keep in mind that those are public facing. So just keep that in mind that people will see the name that you put on this giving set here. As a way to continue my branding, I'm going to go ahead and change the URL so I can customize that URL. It makes it a little bit more friendlier to people to kind of recognize that. So it makes them feel a little bit more trusting of the link. So always a great way just to kind of customize it and give that little extra touch when kind of creating those different links here. We're going to talk about how to copy, embed, and the QR code options here in a little bit, but you can see how you have those different options underneath the URL section. And now when I click on Giving Funds here, I can see all the lists of funds that I have in CDM Plus. So these are funds that are already set up and created. I can go ahead and click on my Giving Christmas Tree Fund here. I didn't click on it. There we go. And then I can see it added to the top here. So if I wanted to, I could add all of the funds in CDM Plus to my list. If I needed to remove them all, I could do that as well. I always say I wouldn't put a whole lot of funds on there. You want to make it really easy and clear for your donors to give. That's one reason and benefit of having those different sets. You can kind of group different funds together. So, up to 5 maybe is a good number. After that, just kind of keep in mind you don't want to add too many funds because you want to really make it easy and clear for your donors to give. But if you did want to add them all, that definitely is an option. You have the option to publish this to the new gift page. The new gift page kind of serves as kind of the landing page for all of the different sets that you have published. So you can have that option there. This is where you can decide, do you want to enable reoccurring gifts or do you want this to be just for one-time gifts only? So depending on the circumstance, and you can choose that option. And then here, this is where I can choose, do I only want to receive credit card donations through this link, ACH transactions through this link, or do I want to accept all? So that's why I said before, when you're filling out that merchant app, go ahead and check all of those boxes because you'll be able to kind of customize that through your different links. So maybe for your traditional tithes and offering link, you might only want to receive bank account transactions. It's a little smaller processing fee. Those types of things. You don't have to worry about expiring credit cards, those pieces. But for a fundraiser, you might want to accept all. You just want to make it really easy for your donors to give. And so we'll include all options so they can give however best fits them. And now the nice thing is I can customize this giving set with its own specific branding. So here under banner image, if I click on upload, I'm going to find my banner image I created. I can see that listed at the top. And so now this link's going to be kind of branded with my theme that I have set up for this campaign. I have the ability to add custom header text and footer text. This is a great place to just say thank you to your donors. It's also a place if you need to give pieces of instructions, you have that ability to kind of add that information here as well, and they will see those pieces when they go to make their donation. You can customize this form even more by adding a background color, or if there's a background image that you want to lay behind the form, then you have that option. And then when you're all said and done, you'll just click on Create Giving Set. And we'll get the message, you successfully made that giving set, and then just click on OK. So in less than 5 minutes, I was able to create that giving link that's now live, and I can be used wherever I want to publish my link. So again, I can go ahead and take this link, and if I have a special insert in my bulletin or on my digital bulletin that's going out, that I can highlight this specific link for this specific cause right now and then. It's live and it's active and it's ready to be used. If I click within my link here, I'm going to go ahead and click on copy. And then I'm going to go to my browser here. I'm going to open up a new window and paste. And we can take a look at what this link looks like. We see we have the branding that we added right here. I'm going to go ahead and enter in my donation amount. And then I can choose, do I want to give this amount now? Do I want to schedule it for maybe in a couple of days? Do I want to go ahead and make this recurring? If it's recurring, then I can choose my frequency. If it's recurring, I can choose, do I want it to recur indefinitely? Or if I uncheck this box, then I have that option to put in an end date. What's kind of nice about this is, let's say I schedule this out for a year out. It's going to actually tell me how many occurrences this will occur. So sometimes that can be very helpful as well. But for today's purpose, I'm going to go ahead and just make a one-time donation. And then from here, I can decide if I have an Engage login, I can go ahead and continue with login. And when I do this, I don't have to enter in my address information because the system already knows who I am. But if I did want to give as a guest, or I forgot my login and I just want to continue as a guest, I'm going to choose that option here. And then I would just fill out my details. Enter in my email and click on continue. And then I can choose my payment method. So I can choose a credit card. If I want to pay with ACH, then I would have that option as well. I would enter in my card number and then click on continue. So this is where that fee assist comes into play. So here I can see kind of all the details, and then I have that I would like to increase my donation to offset the processing fees. I simply put a check in this box, and then the system's going to automatically take into consideration what's the payment method that they're using, what's the amount of their donation. They're going to calculate that out, and they're going to add that to the total, and then I can see what my new total is right here and now. And this way, the organization is going to get the full $100 of my original donation amount. So once I check that box, if I want to, I can add a memo, and then I'm going to go ahead and click on Submit Contributions. They're going to ask me, are you sure? And I'm going to say yes. All right. And then I can see that a confirmation email has been sent to that email that I provided. And not only will the giver receive that confirmation email, but if you set it up so that your staff members receive notifications, they will also receive an email as well, letting them know that someone's made that donation. So I'm going to click on continue. And then it's going to ask me, do you want to make an account? And I have that choice. Yes, absolutely. And then if I do that, it's just going to encourage me to create that username. It already knows my address information because I just entered it. So I could create that username and create that Engage account. If not, I'm going to say no thanks, and I'll be good to go. And so now, since I didn't create that account, how do we really track that donation in CDM Plus? So I'm going to close my browser here. I'm going to close our Engage settings. And if I go to Program, Contributions, and then go to Process Pending Contributions, I can see that transaction that was just made. It's going to automatically pop up into my Process Pending Contributions window here. And I can see like, hey, whenever there's a yellow button, the system is saying, we are 99.9% sure we know who this person is, but we want you to kind of confirm it. If you would see a yellow dot, the system would say, hey, we don't have enough information about this person to make a logical guess of who it is. So you could search to see if they do exist in the system, or maybe you need to create a brand new address and individual and given unit record in CDM Plus, and that's okay too. But in this case, it has a yellow dot. So I can see my pending giving unit information here. I can see the details of their pending gift. And when it's pending, this is just saying that the record of the transaction is pending. The actual transaction itself is already starting to process. So we're not preventing anything from processing here. This is just processing the record of the transaction. But I can see that the pending giving unit information matches the given unit information I have already in the system. And so when I see that both of those are the same, then I can go ahead and click Mark for Processing here. Click on Save. And now that contribution is going to automatically be underneath that Janie Austin giving unit account. In fact, if I go to Close here, and I go to Program, and I go to Contributions and Giving Unit Records, and I'm going to set up a search for Janie Austin's account. And if I click on Contributions, that jump button from the left side menu here, it's going to open up the history of her contributions. And I can see that contribution already listed here underneath her record. And I can see all those details here below. And I also have a little message here that lets me know, hey, this contribution is an online contribution, so we can't delete this. But now a benefit of the Engage Giving is if I click on this Engage tab here, I can now kind of impersonate Janie's Engage account by kind of seeing what she would see if she was logged in. So if you have a giver who's called and was like, hey, I need to edit my payment account, you could pull up their account and you could walk them through those steps. You could say, hey, yes, I have your account here. And that upper right-hand corner, go ahead and click on your name, click on that payment methods, and then you could walk them through the steps of editing their payment method on their account. Or if you click on giving, and let's say they wanted to edit their scheduled gift, I could click on giving, go to scheduled gifts, and I can see any current scheduled gifts that they have. If I wanted to see any historical gifts, they'd be underneath the historical tab. But from here, I could go in and I could edit the amount. I could edit the payment amount that they come out of. So I can kind of walk through those steps either with them or on their behalf. If I wanted to create a new gift, then here I can see a list of all of the different published giving sets that I have. So I could click on the set that I needed, and I could go ahead and make that gift on their behalf, or again, walk them through those steps. I can also see all recent online donations. We can see the ones that are happening today. And then I can also see all of my giving history. So both you and the donor through Engage, they can see both online donations as well as anything that was entered in manually. So here we can see these were donations that were made online, but then we can see a check donation that was entered here as well. So all of that giving history, they can look at and they can manage, they can see those details all from their Engage accounts. And then another benefit are the online statements. We released our online statement option a couple years ago now. And so if you published an online giving statement for them, then they have the ability to view, print, and download that statement that you have published out there. So that's kind of the list of all of their contributions from that time period that they entered. The giving profile can be handy as well. If you know somebody, for example, always chooses to enable that fee assist option, or the donor, they can set this as their default. They can choose yes here, and then that box is going to automatically be checked every time they go in and make a donation. So they have all those options there, make it really easy. And the best thing is that all these contributions, again, part of this being a fully integrated system, is once these transactions settle into your bank account, they're going to show up into our deposit processing queue. So here, if I go to Program, and I go to Ledger, and I go to Deposit Processing, I can click on a deposit that was deposited earlier this year, and I can see the breakdown of that deposit and that transaction right on the right-hand side. And then when I'm ready, I can go ahead and mark it for processing, and then I can actually post that to my ledger automatically. So again, I never had to manually enter in all those details. It flows directly from the system. I can post and I'm good to go. Um, and uh, um, Again, I didn't have to worry about transposing numbers or any of those pieces, and I'm good to go, and it's all connected there. So right from start from finish, again, under 5 minutes, you can create a giving link. You can publish that link anywhere that you would like to publish it. Once those transactions are made, they're automatically connected through the contribution system, and then they're automatically tracked through the deposit processing, and you can deposit them to your ledger automatically. Well, great. Well, that kind of ends our presentation portion of today. We're going to go ahead here and take a moment to answer any questions that you may have. Chris, any questions coming up here?
I do have one. Would it be possible, Julianne, for you to show folks how to order sets and the way that they want to?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see here. So to order my sets, if I go to Program, CDM Plus Engage Settings, and click on Giving Sets from the left-hand side. So all of these giving sets, again, these represent different individual links, and each one of these sets have different funds underneath them. But if I wanted to put these in a different order, so let's say I really wanted to highlight the mission trip to Benin, I can just simply drag and drop this to the top of the list. And then whenever I go to that new gift link, that's the option that I'm going to see at the top. Or if again, I wanted to give the giving tree that highlight, or if I wanted to always keep tithes and offering at the top, that's how you can kind of see, rearrange the order of the giving sets on your giving set links. So if I click on giving here, this is where you can kind of see that new gift link. If I copy that, the order that you've arranged them underneath that giving set is the order that they're going to appear here. So you can kind of see that side by side. But yeah, great question. Kind of along similar lines that people are typing. So a lot of times I get asked the question like, how do you rearrange the order that the funds appear on a set? And the answer to that is through your fund list. So if you go to Program, Contributions, and then Giving Funds, the orders that the funds appear in your fund list here is the order that they can be added to on a specific giving set. So if I wanted my giving tree fund to be the top fund people see when they go to that set, like if I had it on a set with multiple funds, then I can just simply click that to top button, which brings it to the top, and then it's going to pull that fund to the top of that set list of funds on that specific set. So another kind of helpful tip there as well.
Julianne, I'm just kind of scrolling through the chat. Is there an extra cost for a QR code?
No, so there's absolutely no extra cost for QR codes. If we go back to Engage and go to Settings, how it works is once you click on your link, you just click on the QR code. It's just going to kind of bring up your download options from your computer. You would just save it, and then it just becomes that picture file. So from at this point, you would just add this picture file to any print material that you have. So again, those save the dates, those pledge cards, those our church, they like put like a pamphlet in the back of our seats so people can just scan that when it's time for offering. So great option there.
See, I have a question that says, would a recurring gift post to an unpublished giving set?
Yes. So when the giving set's unpublished, what that means is that it's not going to be listed on the new gift page. So here I have an example where my Mission Sunday is not published. So if I go back to my my new gift link here and pull that up, you're going to see that option, my is not one of these sets here. And the reason for this is sometimes there's different scenarios where maybe it's like a missionary who's serving in a critical area where they have to be really careful about their online presence. And so instead of publishing that link to the new gift link page, you can still create that link, but then you can just give this link to those specific donors. So they can still make their donation, they can still set up a reoccurring donation to that donation, but it's not necessarily published to that new gift page. But it's still active, just like any of the other links that aren't published. It's just not published to that new gift page there. So, great question.
See, Jeff is saying my screen doesn't look like this. Is it because I have CDM Plus Essentials?
Yes, it's slightly different. But if you go to our support center, we actually have the essentials side of things, which will walk you through each of those steps here. But if you click on Engage Settings, um, it'll walk you through the steps. But so from the Welcome to CDM Plus window, you would just click on Engage Settings, and then it will actually take you through that same area that we were earlier. So yeah, that welcome screen from Welcome to CDM Plus, Engage Settings, and then it's the same steps from there.
Hey, Julianne, I'll jump in and answer one here. I'm flying fingers around. There's a question about why donation fees are less than registration fees. Effectively, it's because in the giving, we use Fee Assist that looks specifically at the exact amount and then how much that particular payment method, card or ACH, cost. And we calculate to the penny how much those fees are. With the event payments, as well as if you're doing online billing. So if you're doing accounts receivable and want payments there, those are more of a flat percentage that's just added as a processing fee. I think down the road, we'll probably combine those two so that it can be, right to the penny, but that's why the difference is there. They're calculated a little bit differently.
Thanks, Alex.
Did we go over again how to just get the URL to those giving sets? There's a follow-up question for that.
Yeah, I can definitely. So to get to the URL for any giving set, you would just again go to Program, CDM Plus Engage, Settings. Click on Giving Sets from the left sidebar. Then click on any of the specific sets you have. And then underneath the URL section, if you click on copy, that's what's copying basically this direct link right here. And so just by copying this, like if I go to my browser and paste it, you can see that's what's going to paste in that the link there. So that a copy button just copies the URL, the embed HTML, that's what is copying the embed script. Depending on your website provider, sometimes they like you can embed with the link or you can embed with the script. So you have kind of both options there. So just kind of check that out. Sometimes you don't need the HTML, and you just want the link. But we have both there if you're going to choose to embed. And then that QR code that we talked about earlier.
So there was a question about adding a logo to the QR code. So, we certainly produce a QR code that should be good enough to embed a print, but we don't have any sort of extra options for colorization or sizing or anything. You can really just take the Engage URL and put it into any QR code generator online. You do not have to use something paid like a Bitly or something like that. There's lots of tools just to make a QR code where you can add an image and sort of dress it up a little bit. That's a great idea. So we'll definitely put a suggestion for that. But our QR code is nothing more than just the actual link that we copy out. And then there was a question about whether or not somebody can give to a fund that's not published through Engage. And this somewhat goes to the question, Julianne, you answered earlier about recurring giving and if a set was published or not. You have to have the fund added to some kind of giving set. It may be unpublished, and maybe you just set it up directly when you're accessing their account through their giving unit records. But that fund does have to be added to a giving set at least one point. Then Cindy, you asked if Saran collects a fee or are the fees determined by your bank? So just to clarify with the fees a bit, so you pay a platform fee to Saran, and that's based on your plan and how much CDM Plus you own, user licenses, that sort of thing. And that covers the entire use of the software, hosting, support, updates, all of that. When it comes to any sort of online transactions, so if you're doing payments for giving or registration or anything like that, there is, as Julianne said, a transaction fee. It is assessed generally on the amount of the actual payment. Those can be offset with things like Fee Assist, or if you're doing some sort of processing surcharge or whatnot. So those, when those are recorded, they're actually reduced from the amount that you receive. So hypothetically, say your fee was $1 on a $100 payment. So if somebody gave you a gift of $100, you receive $99. On your accounting side, you record $100 of income and $1 of expense. That's essentially your overhead to receive the funds electronically and automatically. If they're using Fee Assist, they make a donation of $101 and there's $1 of overhead, but you end up receiving the net $100. So those fees are effectively removed between the giver and when your organization actually receives those. And that's it with our payment processor. And then there was a question about text giving. So text giving sort of builds on top of the Engage Giving that Julianne showed us. So what you do, just reach out to our sales team or customer service. They'll be happy to kind of get you started here. Again, thanks to regulations and the industry trying to prevent, spam text messages and so on, there's a little bit of process to go through to get this set up. You effectively are going to enroll in the service and we'll give you a unique text giving number. That can either be what they call a local number. So it would have like your local exchange, or it'll be a toll-free number. And Julianne has one pulled up here, then an 833 number. Pro tip, the toll-free numbers are a lot easier and they're cheaper to work with. That is kind of what the industry is recommending. So it runs you about $5 a month if you have a toll-free number. And we go through and get some information. We get you boarded, vetted. They make sure you're not going to try to spam people with this number and whatnot. Very straightforward. We're happy to walk you through that enrollment process. Once you have the number enrolled, it's cake. So on this screen here that Julianne has pulled up, you create commands for your different funds. So you may have your general one that's just called give or building or missions or tithe. And when somebody texts to that number, you can say like give 100. If they've never done it before, they get a link back that says, thank you, click here to complete your gift. And so it takes them through essentially the giving process that Julianne just showed you. Once they make that gift, we save their cell phone number with that payment method they used. And from that point forward, because we have the payment method saved, or it's saved with our payment processor, I can say give 50 and it just says, hey, do you want to give $50 with your MasterCard? And you say yes. And it just happens. So it's super duper quick to go through. Very easy to set up there. But customer service at Saran.com, they can help with the text giving. And they flow through just like the rest of your gifts. You will see a slightly different source in CDM Plus, so you can understand how many gifts are coming from text giving versus engage versus recurring, that sort of thing. So many great questions here. Online giving is such a wonderful way to sort of increase and add to the ways that people can support your organization. And hopefully you've seen that CDM Plus makes it super easy, and it integrates and cuts down on importing from different systems and calculating fees and putting in deposits, and it just all kind of flows. But because there's a lot of ways to accept giving, there's a lot of different options and ways to sort of set the system up so it works best for you. And again, our support team would love to help you with how to do that. But yeah, I really appreciate everyone coming out this afternoon.
Yes, thank you for joining us, and thank you all for coming.